Welcome, everybody. Great to see you all this Sunday evening. This is going to be how to cook with stinging nettles. I hope you've all brought your saucepans. Quite a good turnout, probably the best we've ever had for this session. It's the launch call for the new insurance campaign. So we're going to talk about what resources we've got for you, the bits and bobs we've put together so people can go out and start taking action up and down the country, and what we think is the way forward. What sort of things to do, when to do them. So it's going to be 1 hour. We're hoping to finish pretty much on the dot at 8. All right, before we do some check-ins, does everyone want to unmute and shout hi?
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
So tonight we're going to talk about why go after the insurers, what we've done already, and some direction in terms of where we think we can get the next win, right? Where we think we can push the insurers and move them out of fossil fuels, what the strategy for the campaign is. And this is entirely an XR campaign. After the success of the actions that we did in the spring, the UK Action Circle said, yeah, we want to do an ongoing campaign, keep targeting the insurers. So I'm going to start us off, and then I'll hand over, talking about why insurance. So the other week when Rishi Sunak was announcing the rearranging of the deck chairs on the Titanic in the rain, there are 1 billion people around planet Earth who are living in 45 degree plus temperatures, some of them 50 degrees plus. By targeting the insurers, we can take out the fossil fuels. It's the Achilles heel of fossil fuels. To do all the digging, all the pumping, they need insurance. They need the finance from the banks, and they need insurance. So we've been shouting at the banks for a long time. We've been shouting at the governments for a long time. We've been shouting at the fossil fuel companies for a long time. We haven't got that much change, But the insurers, it's a different story. It's not their softer targets, but the door is already part way open, because all of these extreme weather events are going to make some of those insurers go bankrupt. So they're already thinking, do I really want to do this deal and insure more fossil fuels, when it's pushing the chances of all the other claims coming in up and up and up and up. So it's bad business. It's bad business for the insurers, and more of them are realizing that. Some of the ones that make money out of fossil fuel companies, it's like a tiny proportion of the money they make. They make a lot more money insuring stuff we do need, right? And insuring houses and cars and all that stuff. So the reason that we are targeting insurance is because it's been proven to work. We've seen it work doing it ourselves, but also the ECOP pipeline project, where they're building that, or want to build a huge pipeline, heated pipeline across Tanzania, Uganda, has been delayed 4 years already, that they haven't started digging up those beautiful places and disrupting all those communities because of the insurance, because they can't get insurance. So that'll be something that'll be part of this campaign, is targeting those insurers that still might insure ECOP to get that project cancelled. But there's been projects cancelled because of insurance campaigning already. Cambo's one of them. Bay du Nord in Canada by Equinor, who's also behind Rosebank. So this affects any kind of project like the West Cumbria coal mine, Rosebank, ECOP, and there are hundreds of them. So that's what we're looking for in targeting insurance. And every time we get one of these projects cancelled, it saves hundreds of millions of tons of carbon emissions, and it saves that frontline fight that they've had to do in Tanzania and Uganda to stop the ECOP pipeline. If we can cancel these things through the insurance, that never has to happen. So we hope that you'll join us in taking more and more action against the insurers, pushing them, keeping up the pressure, and getting them out of fossil fuels. I'm going to hand over to Alex P. to talk about wins so far.
Thanks, Jamie. I feel like you mentioned a couple of what you might count as wins was the cancellation of Cambo. These are, if not we can tell that we're having an effect because of comments like the one from the Uganda finance minister saying that ECOP had been delayed by those pesky NGOs, a comment like that. So we really, from a few threads of from various sort of comments, we really get a strong sense that insurance really is the factor that's delaying these projects so much. Other examples of announcements that were made and that we feel like our campaigning was partially responsible for came this past spring. So two companies made announcements on fossil fuels. One of them is Probitas, that had been targeted by an occupation in late February, and they announced that they would not insure ECOP and they would not insure the West Cumbria mine. And this was a direct result of the occupation there by Christian Climate Action. And then Zurich, also the sixth largest insurer of fossil fuels in the world. They, in the days following an XR occupation, announced that they made an announcement related to fossil fuels. The details are somewhat complicated, but it felt like it really moved the ball forward on their fossil fuel policies beyond that of many other companies. And so this is, other executives of major companies have reached out to the campaign, and so we really believe that they are movable, that they are feeling the effects of what we are doing. So I guess, do I take questions at this point?
I think you're handing to me, Alex, and then I think we're doing questions in a bit.
Sounds good.
So I was going to talk about our strategy. So we've spent a bit of time thinking about our strategy, and I guess we've gone quite ambitious. Our thinking is that, if we set the bar really much higher and we don't quite achieve it, then that's far better than setting it really low and not achieving what we could. So it also targets different types of insurers. So, and they are sort of vulnerable to different kind of pressures. So we have general insurers, and they have a public presence, they have a public reputation, which we can put pressure on, and we can target that using certain tactics. And then there are those that will bend more to internal, industry pressure. So I'll read the top line of our strategy. It's very short. It is that sustained direct action from XR and friends will move one reinsurer, 3 underwriters, 1 broker, and 1 more general insurer to veto all oil, gas, and coal expansion projects. And so we've gone for expansion. We've gone for new fossil fuels rather than all fossil fuels, because as we've just seen from the wins we've had, that is achievable, and the ball is starting to roll. So if we can keep that pressure, it's more likely that we will get companies, making these kinds of announcements. So in terms of actions and tactics, we want to go for, we've been testing out sort of lobby occupations, as Alex was just talking about. That's a really low risk but high impact action. So we're pushing that. We think that's a really good tactic. We haven't had arrests from those actions, and it does seem to really give us results. But we also want to do high impact, disruptive actions that do have more of a risk of arrest. So it's these high impact actions that we're really after, and also what's important is just maintaining the pressure, is going back again and again, because that is what works. So yeah, we've also put together a lobby occupations flatpack. So that's got lots of different information in it about, what you could expect in the, in what physically, what lobbies are like, what you can expect to see. And then it talks about different targets and what different kinds of insurers, how they're sort of going to respond, and which of the targets you might want to be looking at. It also goes into the actions themselves and the roles and how you go about actually, the logistics of it. So there's lots of really good information in there. I can share that. I'll share that in the chat with you. But yeah, so we really want to start moving on these tactics. I think, Jamie, it's back to you for some questions.
Thank you both. Yeah, we've allowed some time now for questions. If you've got big questions about what this is, how it works, all of that good stuff, then we've allowed some time for that now. I see one in the chat. There's going to be 3 breakout rooms later on. One's going to focus on do it at home actions. One's going to focus on what Risky just talked about there, the lobby occupations tactic and the flat pack that we put together for you for that. And the other one is going to be a room for anybody who's got like technical questions about insurance, how insurance works, what the hell a reinsurance is, all those kind of questions. So we'll leave those for that breakout room if you've got questions like that, but more about the actions, the campaign. This is the space for any questions. So do pop them in the chat or stick your hand up. If you stick up your digital hand, we can come to you. There's one question in the chat from Ned. Why aren't we also targeting advertising companies, those that advertise for the insurers and fossil fuel companies? So I think there is an increasing number of actions happening at advertisers, Ned, separate to this campaign. So during the Insurance Week of Actions, there was actually a really good action. I ended up being involved and it was great fun. We did a lobby occupation of an advertising agency that is just about to re-sign with Saudi Aramco, so the biggest oil producer. So we essentially used the same tactic, lobby occupations, and went and ruined their morning. And I think it got reasonable coverage as well within the advertising industry press. So absolutely would support actions at advertisers for insurers and fossil fuels, but it's not going to be part of the insurer survival campaign. That's going to be insurance targets. Any other questions while we're all here? All right, so let's move on and we'll finish a bit early. Yes, so next up, I'm going to show you a short video. So once a year, all the insurers get together for their big annual bash, and it's at the Royal Albert Hall. This year, it's on the 3rd of July. So we were going to plan more around that time, but of course, then an election got announced for the day after. But we still want to go. This is where all the insurers go, the dirty and the clean insurers, but especially some of the biggest, dirtiest insurers. So those of you who can, we hope will join us for a mass action and to disrupt this famous event at the Royal Albert Hall on the evening of the 3rd of July, so the eve of the election. I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly why we're so keen to disrupt these fools.
Welcome to the British Insurance Awards 2023. Will you please welcome to the stage Jonathan Swift.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Royal Albert Hall and the British Insurance Awards 2023.
Will you please welcome your host this evening? It's Russell Kane.
Good evening. Welcome, insurance people. I'm a comedian by trade, one of the hardest people to insure. So lethal is it to have funny thoughts and drive. Let's hand out some awards.
I'm so delighted to receive this award. It really signals our investment in people. So to get the recognition after 12 months of hard work is a great achievement.
It's an incredible achievement. I think it's just an example of us leading the industry, sort of driving forward using technology more than anyone else.
Generally is always great, and no exception tonight.
Obviously such an honour to be here. It's probably my biggest achievement of my life today, so never been able to hold one of these, so this is great.
It's been an unbelievable evening. The venue is fantastic, the people, the entertainment, it's unbelievable. The musicians are out of this world, so I can't say enough.
Brilliant recognition for the entire team at Zurich, so the whole evening has been truly fantastic.
I think one of the reasons why the awards are so important is it really recognises the amazing work that so many people do. I love the fact there's an unsung hero award. I love the fact that it is here to represent the efforts of so many different people who perhaps might not always get the limelight.
So great recognition for all the hard work that the team put in over the last 3 years. So yeah, delighted to pick up this award on behalf of you.
We really believe in brokers in personal lines. Our strategy is all about backing brokers in personal lines to today has been brilliant to see so many people across the industry being able to recognise all their achievements.
It's been a fantastic evening. The British Insurance Awards, it's a great opportunity to catch up with connections, with old colleagues, talk about industry issues. It's just great to be together again, and I think the value of networking and collaboration on evenings like this can't be overestimated.
I've worked in the industry for 34 years. There's some brilliant people in this industry. I'm very proud to have worked here. I think we do a fantastic job for the economy, for the world, and so to get recognised for those achievements I think is amazing.
Thank you very much. Good night.
So if you're anything like us, you'll have enjoyed the finger dancing. Some of the people that we saw there on the screen have done literally, them and their companies, the CEOs especially, more to enable fossil fuels, carbon emissions than JP Morgan. So we're obviously quite keen to go and have some fun at their party. It'll be on the 3rd of July evening in London. If you can't make it, let others know, let your local groups know. We want to get as many people there as possible. Obviously, it's the eve of the election, so it won't be quite as big as it could have been. But we're very keen that they don't go into their party without seeing us on the way in. Good. So next up, I think we have... Yes, we got our breakout rooms. So Ned, do you want to go ahead and make the 3 rooms? And maybe we'll introduce our own rooms. So I'm going to host a room which is where to come if you've got technical questions about insurance or questions about specific targets, those kinds of things. So if you've got any insurance-y technical questions, do come and join. And once I've had them answered, you can probably go to one of the other rooms as well. Alison, do you want to tell us about your room?
I'm from Digital Rebellion, and if you want to rebel at home or anywhere else, I'm the person to ask.
Great. And the other room, Alex P., do you want to introduce that?
Yes, this is about going into the lobbies of insurance buildings. So that could be in the City of London, but it could also be out in the regions and nations. I think I'll primarily be covering London. So yeah, I'm joining.
So it's all about that tactic, which can be used at other types of firms as well, right? Not just insurers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What we've learned so far, we've done it a number of times, and you know, it hasn't always been plain sailing, but we think it's effective, and so yeah, we're keen to support others to do it.
Fantastic. So you've got the practical option, going and actually physically disrupting the building in the lobby occupations room. You've got the do it at home option with Alison from Digital Rebellion, and you've got the insurance technical option. So enjoy, and we'll see you in 20 minutes. Hello, welcome back. We had a really good discussion in my tiny little breakout room, so I hope it was the same in the other ones and everyone got something good out of it. Was there anything people wanted to report from the breakout rooms? We've got a couple of spare minutes. If not, we're going to go on to all the different materials we've got for you to take away with you. No? Cool. Let's crack on. Oh, yeah, Rin.
I just apologise to the breakout room I was in. I think I talked too much, and suddenly we were switched back into the general meeting, and I do apologise because other people may well have wanted a chance to speak. I'm so sorry.
It sounds like you had a great discussion. Yes, so we're on the final straight. We've got a few things that we'd like to share with you in terms of different assets that we've been working to get ready for you. As you may have already gathered, this isn't going to be the slickest presentation you'll ever see online, and the documents are very much the same. They're absolutely not the best presented documents you're ever going to see online. However, the content is good. The content is solid, and we think that they're very useful for you. They might change appearance and become slightly prettier over the next week, but the content's there, and we won't be taking anything away from it. We'll be adding to it. So with that said, who's up first?
Hi all, my name's Dave and I am the Regions and Nations Coordinator. For those people who are in the lobby group, breakout group, you have already heard this, so I do apologise to you lot, but I've got to be really quick. So Regions and Nations support. So anyone who's involved in Insure Our Future will know that it was a UK-wide action. There was London-based activities in the earlier part of the week, going up to Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there was regional actions going on. And I was involved in helping to coordinate that. And we're looking, the Insure Our Survival campaign is looking again, potentially in future, to do a similar thing, a UK-wide action, in which case I am here to help coordinate and set up collaboration between the regions and between the regions and XRUK to coordinate actions, either coordinate the targets or the dates and times, the themes of the actions, etc. We can also use it for information sharing of experience. Also, as for Insure Our Future, we can sort out centrally flyers, posters and banners and other outreach type material, and also media and messaging. We can help with that. So as well as coordinating UK-wide actions, we can also as a group help with people is if there are any local regions and nations that have got insurance actions in the bag, we can support that. And even if a local group is looking to target for a particular reason, we can help with that as well. There is a signal group, which I can share again on the chat. And we also have a map, which I'll just flash up just quickly to show you, if you bear with me. Can I share my screen? How do I do that? Let me give that a go. Hopefully you can all see this map. Can you see this? Yeah. So at the moment, this map has got, at the moment, the only insurance companies highlighted there, you could see AIG and Aon. But if I click everything, Hiscox, QBE, you can see that AXA, a list of sundries, and you can see that the map builds up. This is available in read-only view, but you can see that we've got all the insurance companies on there that are currently targeted. We will be building on this, and yep, they are, as they say, shitloads. So yeah, this is a really useful map, and I'm more than happy to share the link. That is my bit, I think. Thank you, guys. Any questions? No? Oh, I can see Joni's hand.
Dave, can you put the link in chat?
I can.
Thanks.
Great, thank you, Dave. I'm going to introduce a couple more resources here. So in the chat now, I'm popping a link to a document. With this document, this is the kind of first point of call for what's going on with the campaign, what the current focus is. I'm going to share my screen and just show it to you quickly. So the map, the brilliant map that Dave has just introduced, will be one of the things linked on here. And this is the only link you need, because from here you can find all the other resources for the Insure Our Survival campaign. Is that showing for everybody? Great. I've got it in dark version. It will look white on your screen. So it's got the strategy there. It's got our wonderful email address. So if there's anything that you are looking for that you can't find, or that doesn't seem to be covered, or if you've got questions about targets, tactics, actions, whatever it might be, please do send us an email using that link. And then here, we're going to talk about this in a second, but that's the current focus for the campaign. We're going to pop the missing links in here probably tomorrow and Tuesday. So then this document will link to everything else you need. Down here is a link to the strategy document, why insurance, what our strategy is. Here will be a link to the actions document, which will cover lobby occupations and comedy or overt recce's, which I'm going to introduce in a second, the messaging document, and we'll also have a link here to the Telegram chat, which is where everybody who's involved in the campaign and the insurance campaigning community within XR hangs out, and where you can find things to get involved with. So there's also going to be a letter linked here that you can take when you do your actions. But my segment is to talk about an invitation before June. You can go whenever you like. With that wonderful map that Dave's just shown, you can find where near you there is an insurer. All the insurers on that map are dirty. They all sponsor, empower fossil fuels in some way or another, to some degree or another. They all need a visit. So we thought it'd be fun to invite the whole movement to go and visit their local fossil fuel insurance office. And some of them are branches, most of them are kind of like offices with desks, and do a comedy or an overt recce. So do a recce, take the photos, take the video, write down all your notes about how to disrupt this building, and then add it to the map so that it empowers everybody to go out using this information and target that company. But also, once you've got all that, let them know you're there. Let them know you're there. Let them know you're coming back. So there's a letter to print off and take with you, and say we want to talk to you about this. Here are our questions, and we'll be coming back. So essentially, it's an invitation to go out there, do this recce, get the information that you gather all on this map, so it's publicly accessible, and anybody can go and mess with them. And to build that target threat, that threat that we're coming. You need to act. If you're going to make any big announcements, it's a good time to do it now, because we will be back, and we're going to disrupt your business, kind of thing. So that's the idea with the comedy recce's, which we're hoping people will do in June. I'll hand over to Steve to talk about the messaging.
Thanks, Jamie. Hello, everybody. My name's Steve. I'm part of the media messaging team, but I'm the media lead on Insure Our Survival. We will have a lovely, shiny new messaging pack ready for everybody shortly, in the next week or so, which will give you lots of slogans, hashtags, banner suggestions, links to comms materials, links to comms request forms if you need backup from XRUK's media messaging team, or you want some support and advice. All of that will be in that messaging pack. If you saw the one that we did for insurance, the Insurance Week, so the Insure Our Futures Week, it's a build upon that. So we've got I think the thing to keep in mind here is that is the change in name. So last time we said Insure Our Futures. Now we've got Insure Our Survival. That's a step up, and I think it's a step up in an XR direction. And it's a double. It's like we like to be. We're being clever here. So we're saying to them, you better ensure our survival, because otherwise we're coming at you with a direct action campaign. But we're also inviting them to ensure our survival, right? Because they've got that within their power. If they change and get out of fossil fuels and ensure renewable energy instead, they could actually be part. They genuinely could be part of the solution. So it gives us the bandwidth to be able to do both of those things and do that kind of messaging around any sorts of campaigns. We're also looking at for everybody in regions and nations who's got different offices, it's worth looking at flood risks in your area. There's messaging within that pack that looks at starting to connect insurance to flooding. So basically, these people are bumping up our insurance premiums because of the larger numbers of floods and heat waves and damage due to the climate crisis, while ensuring that people who are causing the damage in the first place, so they're coining it both ways. So there's messaging with that pack, which is about you know not being able to do that. No, you stop flooding us out. And you'll find that within the pack as well. And being able to use that and identify it within your area, be able to start making real world links through the messaging to things that matter in people's lives. People are seeing this sort of thing happening, and people are finding their homes to be uninsurable. So there's a lot of messaging around that. But we are. I'm around if you need advice on any of the messaging. And as I say, we'll share the messaging pack with you shortly. It's the same color scheme as the Insure Our Futures, but it's a build up on that. So yeah, Insure Our Survival. That's the message to keep hammering home. Thanks, Jamie. Any question? Oh, sorry, I wittered on then. That's a speciality of mine. Witter on a bit, and then don't ask if anybody's got any questions. Anybody got any questions out there?
Yeah. Thanks. Oh no, David's got a question.
Oh yeah, David, go for it. Sorry, mate, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Still on mute.
I did put it in the chat, but just I thought maybe we didn't make enough last time round about the pun of the inshore with an I and inshore with an E. And it's quite a clever thing, and it didn't come through clearly, I thought, last time round. So yeah. Maybe on banners and stuff you could have an I, but then in faint you could have three horizontals sticking out of it.
Yeah, that's a nice idea, mate. Thanks. That's why these calls are so useful, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to be a smarty pants on my own now. That's great. I'll think about that and think how we can get that involved. Thank you.
Yeah, good.
I think it's just going to very quickly say about, so July is the month that we are focusing on. So we spoke earlier about the awards and the fact that we will be hopefully bringing action then. And we would like actions to focus in the days running up to that. So the first, second and third are those are our top pick dates. But in reality, any time in July is up for grabs. So if you want to run an action and it's not on those days, then in July is when we're really, really ramping up the pressure. So that's what we're asking of you. So yeah, if you have a question about actions planned mid-late July, we haven't got actions planned, but if there's stuff on your radar, then go for it. But I'm conscious of time, so I think it's just Jamie or David. Did you have a final question on that? Or no? You, Jamie?
You're muted, David.
In the immediate aftermath of July the 4th, there will still be lots of media around the election. So is the idea that maybe leave that a few days to settle down so that we can then have more space for our message?
It's like you've been listening in, David, on our our discussions. Yeah, we were having a chat about this the other day. We think there's a brilliant opportunity, that July period from the election being announced, us finding out who this new government are, and Parliament coming back is the moment when we absolutely hammer home with loads of actions and say, whoever's in government now, you need to sort this shit out. So yeah,
brilliant. Thank you.
Did you have a question as well, Anna? Please come in.
I'm new to XR. If I want to get involved, I'm in London. To get involved in these actions, how do I do that? How do I find a group of people to do an action with?
Yeah, really good question. So there's kind of two levels of action. There's the ones that don't need the element of surprise. So they're like publicly joinable, right? So if you're new to the whole thing, then that's probably a great place to start. And I put a link in the chat there for a Telegram group. It's also going to be linked on that document. I think I've put the link on there, the root document that I shared earlier. And there's hundreds of people in there who are all interested in taking action against insurers. So that's where you'll see the sort of most updates and information about what's coming up. We will also be doing spicier, as we call it, actions, higher risk of arrest actions that have an elevated impact on the targets. We will be doing some of those in July as well. And for anybody who's interested in getting involved in those, if you're not already in the secure kind of actions space, then talk to your local group or your community group, or find your regional actions person and speak to them. Usually people might go to a couple of lower risk actions and then move on to do those. But best to speak to your London Actions representative, Anna, if that's something that you're up for, if you're ready for that. And for anybody else, if you're also interested in that, then the same route. We are just putting together teams to work on the actions that will happen at the end of July. So that's one answer. The other is that groups are going to organise this. With the map, we're hoping that groups all up and down the country. In London, you've got half the targets in Europe in London, right? So whatever groups you're involved with in XR, talk to them, say, look, I'm really interested in doing a lobby occupation or a rally outside an insurer, and use the map. And it's all sort of decentralized, and we're hoping that those are the resources to empower you. If there's anything you need that isn't in there, that you can't find, just email us, please, or send us a message on the Telegram channel. Cool, and that was the last thing I wanted to say was please do join our Telegram group to stay in touch and communicate with us easily. So all that's left to do is to say thank you all for coming, and thanks to the crew. Huge thanks to Ned, who always does the tech hosting with such aplomb, whatever we're talking about. So can't wait to see what everybody comes up with in terms of insurance actions, and I'll see you at some of them.
Thank you.
Do unmute and say goodbye if you like.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody, nice to see you all.
Have a good rest of the evening.
Thank you.